Welcome back to Ninja of the Seas. As a dedicated One Piece lover, you might have wondered behind the scenes of Shanks losing his arm and the real reason behind it. Let's explore it. When Shanks lost his arm to save Luffy, it was a defining moment, both for the future Pirate King and for the legacy of the red-haired emperor. It symbolized sacrifice, belief, and a passing of the torch. But in a world where 𝐽𝐻𝐾 clash with gods and admirals split the sky, one question has haunted fans for years. Why did a man of Shanks's power lose an arm to a Sea King? Was it really just to protect a child? Or is there something darker, something deliberately hidden about that moment? Something that might reveal the true weight of Shanks's secrets? Let's be clear, Shanks is no ordinary pirate. Even before he was a 𝐽𝐻𝐾, he stood on the same ship as 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞, the Pirate King himself. He clashed blades with 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐾 in duels that shook the Grand Line, and even Kaido placed Shanks among the few capable of stopping him. So, when we're told that this man, this living legend, lost an arm to a sea creature in the weakest part of the ocean, the math just doesn't add up, unless he allowed it to happen. The simplest reading is that it was all about Luffy, that Shanks chose to sacrifice his arm as a symbol of his commitment to the boy's future. But One Piece doesn't do simplicity when it comes to characters like Shanks. Every move he makes is calculated. Every absence, every meeting, every word he speaks to the Gorosei is deliberate. Which brings us to the question, what if the loss of his arm was necessary to maintain a deeper deception? What if it was a ritual or a pact? Some theorists believe Shanks is a double agent. He walks the razor's edge between the world of pirates and the world of kings. He has free access to 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐞, meets with the 5 elders, and seems to act in favor of balance rather than total freedom. He's a peacekeeper in a war between freedom and control. In that context, his arm may be the price of a deeper deal, a symbolic offering to a higher power or force that granted him protection or permission to carry out his mission. Remember that Shanks looked shocked when Luffy ate the fruit. But was he truly surprised? Or was it part of the script? If Shanks is part of a secret war between gods and mortals, if he's aware of the Void Century and the ancient weapons, then perhaps his role is to ensure the rise of a new sun god. But doing so requires more than luck. It requires a sign, a moment of myth, a sacrifice that aligns destiny. In mythic traditions, losing a limb is often symbolic, a cost for wisdom, a mark of a chosen guardian. There's also the possibility that the Sea King wasn't an ordinary beast. The Grand Line is full of mysterious sea creatures connected to ancient prophecy. In chapter 968, Oden speaks of a voice from the sea that would return to the future. What if the Sea King that attacked Luffy wasn't a mindless monster, but an agent of fate, sent to test whether Shanks was truly willing to sacrifice himself to protect the world's last hope? What if this was a cosmic test, and Shanks passed? Then there's the psychological angle. Shanks loses his arm, and from that moment forward, he disappears from the central narrative. He sends Luffy on his path, then withdraws. But he doesn't just vanish, he waits. Every time we see him, he's either stopping chaos or preserving the balance. He ends the Paramount War. He confronts Whitebeard to warn him about Blackbeard. He walks into 𝐸𝐸𝐺 to warn the elders. All of these are power moves, but they come from a man who once seemed carefree. Did that arm cost him more than flesh? Did it awaken him to a burden he could no longer run from? And if we take this theory a step further, what if the loss of his arm is connected to Imu or the Gorosei? Could the Red Hair Pirates have made a deal in the aftermath of Roger's death to protect the world from a greater threat, with Shanks as their representative? That deal could have come with a condition: the relinquishing of power, the offering of a limb, or the taking of a symbolic injury to mark a new beginning. This would make his sacrifice more than personal. It would be political, theological even. It's also worth noting that Shanks's rise to power as a 𝐽𝐻𝐾 happened after he lost his arm. This wasn't a setback, it was a transformation. He shed something but gained myth, and myth matters in One Piece. The story of the one-armed pirate who bet everything on a boy with a dream is the kind of story that spreads across oceans. It plants seeds of hope, it becomes legend, and legends can move people more than armies. So, what does this all mean? It means that the moment we thought we understood, the heroic sacrifice of a pirate captain to save a child might be just the surface of a deeper ocean, one filled with secrets, bargains, and divine consequences. Shanks may have lost an arm that day, but what he gained was a foothold in history, a role in prophecy, and a place in the eternal war between sun and shadow. Perhaps when the final curtain falls and Luffy reaches the end of the Grand Line, the truth will emerge. That the man who gave him the hat also gave up a piece of himself to set the world free. And maybe, just maybe, that missing arm is the key to everything. This will be the end of this one. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you at the next one.